Fans of the Horus Heresy, thank you very much for joining me for this quick little video on repairing battle damage. So this evening my Solar Auxilia went for a cheeky 1000 point game against my friend's Militia force, and before I'd even moved a model my elbows had a moment of exuberance and unfortunately my Medicae model went flying off the table, and not only did the thing come apart, but unfortunately the medical applicator lost its nozzle. Here's one I haven't yet broken. So I'm going to just try repair this now with a little bit of wire, give you an idea about how to repair little fine details like this which have a habit of pinging off. So I'm going to effect a repair using a piece of springy steel wire, like so. Now I'm showing you this, and it's probably going to be quite difficult to see, but obviously I've cut this previously with a set of wire cutters, and it leaves a very sharp end on this. So I've just worked this piece of wire with a few files to smooth off those sharp ends, because what I don't want is, once I fix this model, I don't want a little lethal spear sticking out of it that I can then further injure myself on. So yeah, so that's just now smooth and not an immediate hazard for sticking fingers into. Right, so I'm going to do this by hand. Got a little pin vise here, and I've got a very fine drill in here, and I'm going to do this drilling in 2 stages. So I'm going to drill it once, just to work on this. This is a delicate, tricky bit, getting with such a small surface area, getting it started is tricky. And requires some fairly delicate work, but I think we've got a hold now. So I'm just going to continue. Oops. I'm going to drop this part. I'm just now going to continue to drill this hole deeper, and as you drill, the piece of wire I put in is going to be slightly wider than the original nozzle, so I've got a little bit of room for error here, so I don't have to be 100% true to start with. So you can see I'm going in at an angle, but I will correct that as I go, as the hole enlarges. There you go. Now that's got some good purchase now, and it's going. I'm going to continue to drill that out. So anyway, while I'm drilling away, just let me tell you a little bit about this game I was playing. So I was using my Solar Auxilia from Horus Heresy Book 4 Conquest, and just a little bit of an experiment. My friend put together a Militia army from Book 5 Tempest. That's right, it's Tempest, isn't it, with the whole Calth do. And it was a really interesting game. I don't know if you've ever looked at the Militia list or played it, but he put together a very clever force, and I've never run up against an army at such a low point that had so many missile launchers in it. I came along with my Solar Auxilia, they're good quality troops. I had a tooled up Dracosan with a flare shield, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a walk in the park, and it wasn't. It certainly was not. And we, while in terms of fighting his infantry, I won the battle. His Leman Russ was still functional with a hull point at the end. So although I'd taken relatively light casualties, I'd lost my anti-armor capability, so we called it a draw. But it was a very interesting game, and if you've not gamed and you've got the models for it, I'd certainly recommend trying out the Militia list, because it's fascinating. Anyway, I'm going back with the Iron Hands tomorrow night to take on the same army, so that's going to be interesting. So that's probably deep enough now. Yeah, I think that's about right. It's nice and true. So I'm going to swap over to a drill bit of the correct diameter for the wire. Now, while this is the correct diameter for the wire, this drill bit was too thick to do that initial very fine drilling. So I'm now going to attempt to widen the guide hole using this bigger bored drill. Now this might work and it might go a little bit skewy, but hopefully it's going to tap in and it will follow the line of that initial very fine guide hole that I drilled. And yep, sure enough, that's really good. That's spot on. Yep, it's going through really well there. So let's just continue to drill a little bit more. As I'm working on this, I hope the focus is good on the video, because I can't actually do anything to try correct the focus. So anything that goes out of focus, apologies around that. Right, let's see how deep that is. That's about 4 or 5 millimeters. Let's go just a little bit deeper. Go right. Happy with that. Let's just brush some of that resin away. And now let's just test the fit of the wire on that. There you go. It's perfect. I'm really pleased with that, actually. Wasn't sure that I was going to work quite so nicely. So this is the end that I've smoothed off. So got my trusty wire cutters here, and let's start by cutting that down, probably longer than it needs to be. I think I may well end up just leaving this pin, this nozzle a bit longer, but now I think I've pretty much pretty much got it first time. That's bob on, that is. So yeah, that just needs gluing in position now. So there you go, how to fix a fine detail nozzle on a Forge World racing model. I hope you've enjoyed watching that, found it useful. Thanks very much. I'll speak to you later, and goodbye.